Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys.
How'd you like to hear about a couple of more value stocks in the energy category? Well, now that you've said yes, Tracy Reinick is here with us to give us information on just that. A couple of more energy stocks that you've brought with you to the forefront here. This is your favorite group, I think.
It is. And now it's kind of making a comeback because the estimates are increasing in this group now that we've had the big sell-off and, the crude prices and natural gas prices fell, and now analysts are getting a little more bullish on this sector.
Right. And I'm seeing predictions of higher energy prices by next year.
Yes.
So,
right. So things are coming into line for these companies.
For them, anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Natural Gas Services Group, ticker
Yes.
symbol NGS, is one company in this category.
Yeah, they're a little different than some of the energy plays I've done because they aren't an explorer. They're not out there searching for any of the energy. They actually provide compressors to the natural gas industry. So they both manufacture and then they provide them. And the rental market is a big portion of their business actually too. So, they're not actually exploring, but anything that's happening with the natural gas prices is going to influence them because it influences their customers.
Right.
And with natural gas prices, we've seen it really come down over the last year, much more maybe it's about the same as crude, I guess. But down over 50% means that their customers are not going to be drilling for the natural gas. So this has hurt them. So they've seen revenue come down quite sharply over the last couple of quarters. But as I said earlier, things are starting to turn around because natural gas prices aren't going to stay low for forever. This last quarter was a little rough for them. They did see revenue increase, but mainly that was on the strength of their rentals that kind of offset their sale decline. Mm-hmm. And they have cut costs. They've done the things that they need to be doing now. But, they're not super expensive. They're trading at about 13 times forward earnings. Analysts see estimates kind of holding here while they kind of see what's happening in the industry. Mm-hmm. But they are Zacks #1 rank. Other fundamentals are still good. And, their CEO said in their last conference call that they see it bottoming towards the end of the third quarter. So they're going in, this is into the second quarter, not till the end of the third quarter is when they see kind of the turnaround in their overall industry. But then things will be getting better. So this is kind of a play on what's going to be happening down the line, maybe 6 to 8 months.
Okay. And
yeah.
Stock price-wise?
Well, the chart, it looks like a lot of the ones we've seen. It hit a low in March, then it bounced off the low, gave back a little bit in recent weeks with the sell-off we just had recent in the overall markets. But, it's still fairly attractive, like I said, from valuation-wise.
Then there's Canadian Natural Resources, CNQ, the ticker symbol for this company. And they're an independent oil and natural gas exploration and production company. Right. And this is in Canada.
Yeah. This is the one these are the kind that I typically do that are either the explorers or the big integrateds that are, looking worldwide. Mm-hmm. These guys are up in Canada. And what makes them kind of interesting is that they've started production in the oil sands, which has kind of gotten forgotten the last 6 to 8 months as the oil prices have come down, because that's a huge area where a lot of companies are exploring, where there's a big possibility of oil up there, and they've actually started production there, which they saw partially in this last quarter, which boosted their production levels by about 7% for the quarter. So they have that. They have some things going on off of the the coast of West Africa, where they're seeing some wells developing there. So, this kind of company, again, has a lot. Price of oil has come way down, but they see a lot of good things going forward because the production levels are staying up. So, analysts really like this company going forward. The estimates are really jumping. They beat big in this last quarter because I think a lot of analysts underestimated it, what was happening with the prices of crude coming down. But a lot, if they kept the production up, have been able to keep the earnings up. And so we're seeing the earnings for next quarter jump and for the full year jump pretty sharply with this kind of company. And there's Zacks number one because of the jump in the earnings. The valuation isn't bad. It's a little, almost 15 times earnings. So it's, a little on the higher price for value stock, but still within the value parameters. And the chart is interesting. It's basically doubled since its March low, which is not unusual, again, for some of the oil stocks. And overall, we've seen that happen with a lot of companies. But again, the price isn't super expensive here.
But not yet nearing the end of its run either.
No, not if we see a big jump in crude prices, because that they're keeping the production levels up. And so if we see the jump in crude and natural gas prices going forward here, that should definitely help their bottom line.
All right. Do you own any of these?
I do not.
Either of these, any of these? It's one of those two. And if you want to see more about what Tracy's written about recently in the value category, go to Zacks.com's homepage, and over in the upper right-hand corner of the homepage, next to the value listing is a headline. You click on it, it'll take you to the story that she currently has up there on the company that she wants you to know about and an archive of some others. With Tracy Reinick, I'm Terry Ruffalo.